Hey everyone, D-Dub Squizzy here, and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity.
Sure.
Okay, so I have no idea where we're going through here. I don't know if this will be the last episode or the second to last, but I'm pretty sure we're really close to closing in on the end of this sucker.
It's even scarier than in my dreams.
What is? Ukaizo?
On it.
Sending the city to be suicidal while the relentless storm rages on. Am I actually going to be able to shut down Andra's mortar? Fury storm obscures the sprawling city below, but you make out the shape of distant spires reaching out from the flooded ruins. You recall last time you encountered a Biowac. Oh, spirit winds tug on your soul.
Gilded Vale got its name from the way the wheat fields used to look in this. Might as well be a different world. Yeah, seems they had a whole different way of looking at things. These great people got a funny way of passing on. They disappear from the world, but leave their problems behind for the rest of us to deal with. I guess maybe that's one good thing that's come out of it. We even got a friend. Whole world's about to face the biggest test it ever saw. You know, I broke a wheel once too. My mom had this spinning wheel, and she loved it. Well, I was playing with it in the way a young child might. It wouldn't go back into place, so I pushed it harder and harder. Anyway, I got whipped pretty good for it. That wheel, I used to think of the gods as being like parents to all.
5 years ago, you controlled the destiny of thousands of souls in Sun and Shadow. But the choice you make today shall define the fate of every living thing in Eora. I know you will. I know you'll choose wisely. And no matter what happens...
We gonna do this or what? We've made it this far, yet we're still alive. Might as well square off with my god before our luck runs dry. Sure do. If gone once you did. Besides, the part of him that's been stomping through the Deadfire didn't much help me at Mogren's teeth. Tell me, Watcher, can there be a god of light and birth if... It didn't work so good at Mogren's teeth, now. Well, if anyone could do it, I thought it'd be different, but I couldn't dream of any other way. Now then, shall we go face whether we're meant to wither or thrive? Consider me...
Okay.
Leave it to me.
Goddy's first chosen. Huh. That's Audra. Lots of Audra everywhere. Huh. I caught it perfect for the lightning strike. Neat. Oh yeah, Consulate, you're coming along with me. What happens if I kill him? Does he be... Like if his skull gets, like, I don't know, destroyed, however that could happen. Does he go back to the wheel? What happens?
Why not?
If I stop the powers, the tower spins in wild blind revolutions, air around is still and calm, stand in the eye of the storm. Control panels weather the millennia better than the rest of the city. A layer of dust covers its elegant glass tubes and engraved copper levers.
The machine controlling the storm winds down. The clattering of its machinery settles into a low whir, and then, at last, the bell's ringing is soft. Not the clangor and torrent you've grown used to.
Watcher, your journey nears its conclusion.
The pallid night stands before you, her gaunt...
That will depend on the will of Kith, whose soon you will confront Eothas for what will likely be the final time. And you will do so as the Herald of Barath, the only creature on the face of Eora to whom he will listen. Remember that.
Or not.
The pallid knight inclines her head to you, black hair hanging limp in her face.
If Eothas truly intends to go through with his mad plan to destroy the wheel, a generation's worth of souls will be trapped in the in-between. So many would suffer. How can Eothas be so cruel?
Abaddon strides forward.
Eothas thrust this crisis on the Kith. They did not bring it upon themselves. Their only mistake was entrusting us to watch over them.
Eothas will reveal every secret of the gods. Will Kith be able to change the established order if they have no wonder to inspire them? Eothas must help them resolve this quickly, lest every one of Eora's few remaining mysteries be laid plain.
With the wheel destroyed, Kith will tear themselves apart. It is the gods' duty to prevent that happening, lest they doom us all. And as Kith must be ruled, so too must the gods.
Kith are strongest when they follow our lead, and we are strongest when we lead in turn. United in purpose with
Kith will not solve Eothas' puzzle on their own. And without an established order to fight against, the bonds that bind them dissolve, and they fight amongst them.
Boudica's firm hand is but the motherly smothering of Helia by another name. Mortals should have no special advantages. Only once our intervention in your struggle would be a cruelty and counter to our...
Indeed. Kith must discover for themselves what it is they are worth, and of what it is they are capable. What we do for them, they do not learn for themselves. Trial breeds. I have faith in Kith's ability to meet Eothas' challenge. Do not mistake my words for indifference, Watcher. They are born from a fierce belief in your potential, not a refutation of it.
Margaret is blinded by her affection for mortals. She does not see that entropy is the destiny of all things. Kith have...
As Rimergon's words fade, the Pallid Knight returns. She no longer towers over you, a giant even among the gods, but meets you at your height. She lets the arm...
Well, Watcher, you know where we stand. What do you believe? I only suggest that you walk into this future with eyes wide. Now the time has... I laid upon you a difficult duty. You are no stranger to hard choices. You killed Theos. Remember the strength it took to make that choice.
She claps her gauntleted hands together, and a sound like thunder.
This cannot last, you know.
Ooh! Calling the storm reveals the sprawling city around you. Like sand wiped from the mosaic, you see the distant outline of Eothas.
You keep falling asleep on me, I'm gonna have to start walking behind you with a pillow. It seems we're all still here.
Gods darn.
Stand of the world, Deadfire company persistent, flapping with the breeze. Oh boy. No longer alone in Ukaizo. Maybe they came to negotiate. Yeah, one hopes, but they absolutely did not. I killed their chief. Yeah, they are not gonna let us go. Not easily.
Yeah?
Yep. That's Sura.
So, it ends like
I thought I
this.
killed him.
Rauatai will accomplish wonders with this place. It is a shame you... This was never personal.
Oh, come on. Alright. I've beaten worse than you, man. I'm gonna beat worse than you still. Let's just do that again.
Need something
stronger. Let's do this.
Gotcha. Let's set off that one. And just kind of nuke these.
That dog won't hunt.
Not exactly.
Okay, I guess he's not doing that.
Area of expertise.
Not doing that one either. Oh, it's sewers up here.
Got it.
Die.
Confound it! That's usually. How may I help?
Boy, that's annoying.
Lava Beons.
Okay, that sewer's dead. Thank goodness. Dang it. Went down. Where am I? These soldiers are a hassle.
Take this.
We can't seem to make any headway fighting them.
You all to dust.
Come on! Every single shot they make interrupts everything they're all doing. This is so annoying. You know what?
Darkness flows. Light wanes.
Bastard.
Yeah, we're reloading then. Because it's just not going well at all. I guess I don't think I'm going to have to fight a ton of stuff. I can probably just spam summons at them. I'm just so tired of them all at this point.
So, Rowett, are you first?
Bam.
That looks complicated.
Where than raw. Didn't work.
Take him out. Eater, where are you? What are you doing? Why aren't you doing what I told you to do? Oh, he's stuck. That's why. Hobbling shot. Oh no, it's thorny roots that immobilized him.
misses. After him.
So are these guys the final fight then?
This thing isn't doing the job. You like that?
Is he near death yet?
Let's reap this whirlwind.
The Wither Mage switched places. Tell you what, go kill him. Ha! Gotcha!
Never you mind that miss.
Let's go.
Yeah, these guys are gaining health. Gotcha, okay. Let's break off, kill him.
Can't make a dent. Got it.
How does one possess the time to collect this many fish?
Thank you.
What can I do? Happy to oblige. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Well, they were annoying.
Uh-huh.
That was weird. I was pretty sure he died. He wasn't on the lower level of the place, was he? And I thought that the leader of the Valians commented on that guy dying. I don't know. I think that whole quest got screwed up or bugged or something, because I couldn't even work with the Valians. And the Huana just immediately accepted me. I'm not even sure what went wrong there, but whatever. Here we are.
I was chewing through Cadnua's foundation long before Eothas finished the job.
Of Ukaizo.
That's the wheel.
Battered by storms for thousands of years, the ruins bear the marks of their role as the lone witnesses of the god's great secret at the center of the city. The houses and boulevard. As you approach the center of the city, the weathered architecture gives way to more luminous Audra, piercing the ruins, eventually overtaking them entirely. Cresting the top of a fallen, an immense Anguithan machine floats above the monument, suspended by invisible energy emanating from a well of light beneath it. Great brass rings spin around a core of metal and Audra at the machine's center. Periodically, Eothas' massive arms swing back. The only safe route to the god is a steep ascent along a monstrous pillar of luminous Audra, intertwined with fragments of Ukaizo's ruins that it has carried through the centuries. The pillar bends in a long arc, towering above the machine. The pillar levels out near Eothas' head. A side...
Strange to see Ukaizo in this way. It may be hard to picture, but this city was once full of life. Great hanging trees shadowed these boulevards. Gardens sprawled across the open rooftop. Each spring, a festival procession would wind its way from the hillside into this valley. The celebrants would pass through a steep walk among the stalls of foreign merchants. All people of all nations, together.
Soul of Widewin.
Been a while, old friend. Widewin. I did not think to see you here. But few things go as expected when the Watcher is involved. We were a good team. Once. But this isn't what we fought for.
Ain't you just burning the harvest because you planted the wrong seeds? An astute observation, old friend. Consider instead that I am giving the soil back to those who till it. Spring must always follow winter. As long as there are people committed to finding the other side of change, the agony will not last. But thank you for challenging me as you did in fairer times. I haven't forgotten the lesson we strove to impart. You're welcome, I suppose.
This isn't right. You can't put this burden on us. You can't make the gods' problems, our responsibility to fix. How can you have faith that what you're doing is good? You know how many people are going to suffer because of this. No matter how you spin this, you can't set it straight.
Adair, I wish I could explain it to you. It breaks my heart that I cannot. But no matter how much you curse me, do not despair. The souls of this world will need people like you. Lights burning brightly in the darkness to come.
Gone, please. I'm begging you. What do I do following this? How...
The Deadfire and the Eastern Reach are full of animancers. They will also need people with brilliant souls, like you, Shodi. People who can tend to the spiritual needs of the world. Remember, the flame you bear is not only light.
What right do you have to do this? Destroy the wheel and leave us with nothing?
Aloth, we are all gods and mortals, but inaction carries its own moral responsibility. It is a burden I have carried for far too long. One must always do as their conscience dictates, even if that means abdicating a position of power. But what of you, Watcher? Why have you followed me? Have you come to bear witness to the breaking of the wheel? Mortals are already inspired. Animancy is poised to go far beyond what we... Why does Helia think I should lend more power to mortals? I see your point. Perhaps it was naive of me to think that mortals could... From where should mortals draw their inspiration? Very well, Watcher. Indulge me in a moment's curiosity.
Whoa, his voice changed.
There is something I wish to know about Eora, about Kith, that I can only... You followed me all this way, dodging an armada, voyaging across uncharted seas with the machinations of gods, all the while trusting in the institutions of Kith to get you this far. I believe that mortals possess the strength to collaborate and shape a future of their own design by relying on others and coming together in a time of crisis. You illustrate my point. But what inspired your decision, Watcher? Did the choice echo your foundational beliefs? Or were you influenced by observation? Boudica has been especially active since the downfall of her favorite operative. Have you ever considered that she is mentoring his replacement? My brothers and sisters never act when the... If Boudica's shadow has fallen upon you, I thank you for your perspective. Yours is not the... All I ever wanted for mortals was growth, transformation. Once, my brothers and sisters shared this goal. Some have forgotten themselves, giving into fatalism or tyranny. Others have succumbed to apathy. It brings me great sorrow that crisis is the only way to set the future in motion. Would that I could pass the responsibility of heralding your darkest hour to another. Never forget that trust and coordination between mortals brought you to this place. Your future is built on a foundation of hope. Ask. You are entitled to any answer that is mine to... The great work of the Ingwithans falls souls which currently await new life in the beyond. Anything that dies will tarry in the void of the in-between, awaiting the motion of a wheel that once the beyond has emptied, every birth will be hollow-born. Unless mortals work together to carve a new path, a generation or more. That much essence is already poised to flow into... Should you choose, you could lay down your burden. By your reckoning, there are still good years to come. By ours, time is short. When we tamed the cycle of reincarnation, we broke what had once functioned naturally, and with essence will simply pool in the void of the in-between, never passing through Adra networks to the beyond, for several reasons. My strength was diminished with so many vying for control of the Deadfire. I also saw a ripe opportunity for mortals to cast aside their differences and stand together as one. They have never been more powerful, more capable. Because of this, no one is worthy of unconditional trust. If you feel the gods, should you choose to accept the gods, I hope that you... Boudica is entitled to her opinion. The other gods must decide for themselves if mortals are ready to dictate their future. Your perspective bridges eternity, Watcher. Many will look to you to mediate differences that could shake the very foundation. I apologize, Watcher. There is nothing I can do. What happened to Cadnua was not personal in nature. Given your perseverance, I know that a second home cannot be distant in your future. You have only to... I must attend to my final work now. You have carried a heavy burden across the Deadfire, Watcher.
One final dissonant ring of the chime, then you, then silence. Made me no longer Harold's Barrett.
Now.
Barrett's Herald.
As free as any of us can. Many will come to you for help in the years ahead. Animancers, priests, I have great hope for you. But always...
Eothas squares himself to the machine. As you move to a safe distance, he draws his fist back and resumes his assault. He returns to his task, each strike bringing with it the sound of cracking stone and twisting metal, the flickering of luminous Adra across Ukaizo. As the ancient cracks appear along the hands, then race up the arms. Eothas does not slow his assault, but continues unabated. Its brass rings twisted. The machine spins erratically but withstands the relentless barrage. Eothas stands astride it and pummels the base of the machine. You see Eothas' arm shatter upward from his hand through his elbow. A flash of light and heat bursts from the core, accompanied by a
Wheel is destroyed.
As Eothas' voice fades, the enormity of what you've accomplished sinks in. You have confronted a god. You have rediscovered the ancient city where the wheel was forged, and you have seen the wheel shattered. What comes next is uncertain, but already the legend spreads. On your recommendation, Eothas disperses his essence, and that of the thousands of souls within him, to centers of knowledge and learning around the world. Animancers. While some of these developments prove beneficial to Kith, others are decidedly less so. But such is the price of innovation. Reclaiming Ukaizo is both a symbolic and a practical victory for the Huana. The ancient city is a potent reminder of their people's ancient glory, and it promises to be the Valian Trading Company continues its operations in Deadfire, though it is forced to renegotiate many of its contracts with the newly empowered Huana Crown. Due to these changes, the Valian Trading Company eventually withdraws most of its people from Deadfire. Though Castal convinces the Sangreta Mea, most of the Republics consider this an embarrassing demotion. Though Castal
he was always about the
animancy
animancy changes that they could find in the Deadfire.
The Royal Deadfire Company is expelled from the archipelago as punishment for their attack at Andra's mortar. The storms across the Rauatayan mainland subside along with those of Andra's mortar. However, Rauatai regards this respite with a wary eye, ever mindful that the machinery at Andra's spire remains under their foes' control.
So it wasn't, they weren't just connected, like a little bit. This machine caused the storms over there too, and with it shut down, that fixed it.
The Ukaizo reignites Ferrante's dream of a new Valian empire. Deadfire is claimed and controlled, but the clearing of Andra's mortar offers the possibility of new prospects in yet undiscovered lands. He leads the old, despite other tensions across the archipelago. Port Maje remains a model of peaceful, productive cooperation between the Huana and the Valians as the balance of power changes in Deadfire. so too does Nekataka transform. Though the Kahanga monarchy moves its new seat of government to the Kahanga leadership takes responsibility for the welfare of the Raparu, and the gullet starts to improve. What was once a den of crime, Ukaizo reveals more about the ancient art of water shaping than the guild could have hoped to learn in another century of work. With this new knowledge, your brief encounter with Letharn proves deeply influential for the children of the Dawnstars. Plagued with nightmares and haunted by the deaths at Hesango, Letharn begins questioning his faith in Eothas. The faith of the children of the Dawnstars fades, but their commitment to the people of Deadfire does not. They continue with the Adra at Pokakohara destroyed, and hopes of a Valian outpost dashed. The tribes resolve to leave Tikawara behind. Small and mobile, they move amongst the dragon, Neraskirlas, no longer passes between Eora and the White Void, and the dead flow slowly breaks apart. Under Halfjorn's guidance, the Harbingers of Dusk resettle within Remergon's temple, vowing to forever protect it from the defiling touch of Vatnir. Escaped Harbinger's watch with his life, but with none of his authority. He wanders the Deadfire alone, preaching, investing the Beast of Winter. You earned the Death God's mercy rather than his enmity. The deity remains characteristically unforthcoming about it. Once repaired, the Adra at the primal island of Kazuwari again pulses with the flow of soul essence between the here and the beyond. The faces of the hunt continue to rule the Crucible and Galawain's, or rather, Tawamawai's name. The trials, like the other souls following in your wake, Muatu eventually yearns to move on to the beyond and the wheel. Stymied by hundreds of
he went back to the Crucible.
And no small number of wilder and primordials flee from the Black Isle. Their minds a confused collection of inconsistent and contradictory memories. Each escapee bears knowledge that was once lost, released from their bondage to the sightless eye. The Vithrak of the Halls Obscured abandon the Black Isle and resettle in the deepest, encouraged by her arcane successes. Bakarna returns to her observatory to continue her studies of the celestial spheres.
Oh, so she became an archmage.
Slain by your hand, the Titan of Wal poses little further threat to Eora. As the corpse decays, it putrefies into a massive nest of hungry fungal monstrosities. Though your adventures alter the destiny of Eora and the balance of power in Deadfire, they also leave a lasting mark on... Adair returns to Hesango, where he reunites with Byrne, the son of his former lover, Alava. The boy takes heart in Adair's account that Eothas and all the other gods were false, petty, and unworthy of the love of Kith. Realizing how close he came to dying for this cause, Byrne finds Shodi is not a priestess who understands the meaning of subtlety. As such, she makes her girlish crush on Adair painfully obvious from the moment she first sets eyes on the strapping fighter. Early in your travels, Adair appears discomforted by her persistent flirting. He often grimaces when she sidles up to him, seemingly lit with an inner glow. Shodi takes to a new life of mission work with gusto. She still is committed to shepherding souls forgone, but having realigned her goals with that of her fellow Dawnstars, she now endeavors to help the living as much as the... Though the two of you no longer travel together, Shodi holds fast to the memory of you in her heart, remaining your fierce and doting girlfriend, faithful even in her absence. You receive a missive for every day apart. Aloth renews his commitment to destroying the Leaden Key. With the wheel broken, loosening the god's stranglehold on Kith is more urgent than ever. It is a lofty goal, and you let Rimaro go, and the former pirate ostensibly set sail for the trade lanes of the Eastern Reach, the Edier Empire, Old Valia, and the Republics. For the remainder of your time together, Seraphin... And yet, when the two of you part, Seraphin seems emboldened, invigorated by a new sense of purpose. He buys you a drink, toasts to the Deadfire, says
He's
after
out freeing
reporting back to
slaves.
her superiors for the Watcher's actions against the Valian Trading Company, Pallegina is rewarded with reassignment home to the Valian Republics. Pleased with the Navy's conduct throughout the Deadfire campaign, Maya returns to active duty. She can find a free drink and a sharp salute. She looks forward to seeing her brother again. The discovery of Ukaizo doesn't bring Takehu the answers that he sought, but this proves only a minor setback. Merely knowing that Ngati's chosen landed on the island ignites something in the Huana tribes. He bids you farewell, suggesting that you seek your next adventure in a brothel or tavern, where your pursuit of Eothas and your journey to Ukaizo signal the end of forces that have shaped the lives of Kith and the course of nations. The cycle of reincarnation as the Watcher of Cadnua and the former Herald of Bareth.
Huh. So that's it. I gotta say, not a very inspiring ending. Why is the screen just black? Okay, there we go. Well, I did enjoy it for the most part. Of course, I didn't do everything that was in the game, but I don't know, there was something missing from it. I think part of it's just how open the world was. Like, in the first Pillars of Eternity, they let you go to a certain number of places, but then you had to go to Cadnua, let you go to a certain number of places, but you had to go through Defiance Bay. You couldn't really get farther than Deerford, and then you couldn't go through Twin Elms until you were in that part of the story, to kind of keep you from getting too much stuff. But on top of that, the White March just seemed like there was so much work put in than there were on the other ones. But Seeker, Slayer, Survivor, and the Beast of Winter were over in like 2 episodes, 3 I think for the Beast of Winter at most. It took I think a little bit more for the Forgotten Sanctum, but Forgotten Sanctum was a nightmare. That was, I don't know, I didn't enjoy the Forgotten Sanctum at all. I was just happy to be done with it. I don't know, part of me feels like they either put in not as much work or too much work. Instead of letting the game just sort of breathe as they went, they wanted to really turn it into something that, for the most part, was very good, but I think they kind of overreached on some parts of it. I don't know. I certainly did not like that I didn't get to destroy that ghost ship. I was looking forward to that, but I didn't expect that you'd have to work with the Principe, forsaking all others in order to do that. Why would you work with the Principe? If anyone shouldn't be worked with, it's them. I don't know, sometimes I feel railroaded into making decisions I don't want to make in these games, but what can you do? Game is over, and I stand by my decisions. So I guess that's it then. I'm going to thank everyone for watching through this series as I played it. I got quite a bit of attention on it, and I appreciate that. I don't know exactly what the future holds in the short term. My life is going to get a little bit hectic, and so it might be some time before I can consistently record, or I might be able to for a little bit and then have to stop for a while. I don't know. But I'm glad I was able to get this project done before anything like that occurred. And I thank everyone who's been consistently watching, because I know there are at least a couple people that have been. It makes it feel worth it. So, yeah, that's all I gotta say. You've listened to me prattle on long enough. I'm going to end this here. Thank you for watching Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire, and I will see you in the next one.